Peace to the family. Peace, peace, peace. Peace, love, and light. Peace, y'all. Greetings, greetings, greetings. Peace, family. What's good with you? Yeah. What's good? I want to tap in with you on a magical moon day. Bring you some of this wonderful energy from Miami, directly from the beach. All right, we on Muscle Beach today. You know what I'm saying? So if this is a Monday and you feeling a little like you lagging behind or you playing catch up, look, man, kicking the high gear, right? Monday sets the momentum for the rest of the week. So, hopefully we can inspire you today. You know what I'm saying? To get to tap into your well of physical fitness. People are out here is after your 9 to 5 hour, people still out here getting money. They still out here putting that work in, even after work hours. It's a lifestyle. Health and wellness is a lifestyle. And it's not just relegated to early mornings. Shout out to my brother, Shaka Bars. I was supposed to be out here 9 a.m. to get this workout with the brother. And I ain't make it this rising. You feel me? But I might make up for it this afternoon. And if not, I will do something tonight to just put some notch on the belt, But fitness and all of that stuff, that's an all-day activity. Sometimes I might even get it in like 3 times out the day. But 1 is ideal, 2 is a bonus. You know what I'm saying? If you're reaching them numbers where you're getting 3 and, you're just radical about your workout, and there's nothing wrong with doing that. You feel me? But to do nothing, that should not be optional. Hugh, I'll be here. I paid 3 hours on my meter. I'll be around. Sometime is better than none. Something is better than nothing, and sometimes better than no time. You know what I'm saying? And right now, I'm with my baby. You feel me? And just being on the beach, receiving the energy of the beach, the sun rays, the breeze, and everything. It's a workout within itself. What is it working out? It's working out the stress. It's ironing out the wrinkles. You know what I'm saying? The negative ions are what? Balancing, free radicals in the body. They're bringing us back into alignment. I mean, It's impossible to be in an angry state, right? So I felt that this was the most appropriate time. There go my baby again. And I'm revisiting a download that I got in January of 2022. I was on this beach. You know what I'm saying? And I walked all the way down to the boardwalk, right? Like on First, there's an extension. I just walked all the way down, and I was doing a live, and I was telling the people on live about the Christ Challenge and how I arrived at something that was called a Christ Challenge, because I was angry on the beach. In January of last year, I came out here, and I was just minding my business, and I'll be walking through the streets of Miami, and I have to run into the rudeness of Cuban I don't even know if I could say Cuban Americans or what have you, or they from Cuba, but these was the Cubans that lean more like on the Spaniard side, right? The blonde hair, the conquistadors, the children of the conquistadors.
Literally.
And they're very rude, and they're antagonizing with their rudeness. So you'll be walking down the street, and they're standing in the middle of the block like you don't like you don't exist, like you paper thin, like you got to walk around them. And I'm walking through them because I'm just not here for it. And I'm from the old Miami, you know what I'm saying? And we from New York, and we from the old Miami. And I remember when that shit was a no-go. All of this post-Trayvon, post-BLM treatment of melanated people, my foreign dissidents, and even citizens. Nah, I'm not here for none of that shit. So I was getting aggressive, you know what I'm saying? I was getting aggressive, and I was about to put some work in just to make an example. Because I was working out, and I get a little aggressive when I work out. And I just realized that it was an expenditure of too much energy, because I'm like, what, I'm going to put the beats on everybody? I'm going to be aggressive with everyone that I come into contact with this energy. Then I remember the technique that I utilized to neutralize any perceived energetic threats against myself, right? I had an experience 2004 or 5, something like that. It was a transcendental psychedelic experience, and I kind of was like out of body. It was like an out of body. It was like an OBE, an out of body experience, and I saw the creation of the universe. And long story short, because I tell hella long stories. Long story short, through this transcendental experience that I had, the universe was showing me that when we come to Earth, we participate in a simulation, a 52 fake-out game, where we think that we're actually our spacesuits, right? We get caught up into race, ethnicity, terrestrial matters. We get into the terrestrial affairs of Earth when we get here, and we forget about our spiritual essence, the fact that we all come from sparks of light, and the spark of light that we emanate from is a universal spark, and it's a one spark. It's called an all spark, like how they show you in Transformers. So when I had the out-of-body experience, it showed me that we all possess the spark of light. And it challenged me to identify my fellow man by their internal light first instead of their external spacesuit, right? Because I'm from New York consciousness, and we are tethered in dealing with our terrestrial trauma, right? So before we could get to talk about cosmic origins and outer space shit, we dealing with the trauma that was done to us on Earth. We're dealing with the badges of slavery. We're dealing with the traumatic experience of systematic racism, right? And it's a heavy weight, and it really weighs you down. It's low vibrational terrestrial affairs, even though it's a necessary struggle, because somebody got to fight it, somebody got to do it. You know what I'm saying? It's just like, damn, is this really where you want to be in terms of evolutionary consciousness? Because there's a lot more that comes to this. And I often tell my stories about how I was exposed to the expansiveness of consciousness when I got to the West Coast, and I got to witness how white folks do their consciousness. I'm not even gonna, cut my tongue on it, try to find a fancy word. So back to this experience with the light and everything. When I had this out-of-body experience, it challenged me to identify people on the light spectrum and to communicate with them telepathically. I was high out of my mind, but I was confident in the messages that I was receiving when I was high, right? That I was just like, I'm willing to try anything out to attain a particular level, to see whether something is real or not. I'm willing to experiment, right? So I was inclined and challenged to use this methodology to see if it works, because it don't make no sense thinking that you thought about something elaborate. Nigga, you was just high. But if you challenge yourself in the real world and you get real world results, then everybody ain't high. You know what I'm saying? So I went outside and I tried the technique out, and it worked. And I've tried it out many other occasions. This one I'm like at my most zen. I'm borderline enlightened when I get at this state, because I don't see race no more, and I'm not caught into terrestrial trauma, and I'm really dealing with the oneness of the people and the oneness of the universe. And I deal with us from our spark of light. That's the Christ challenge. So I did that when I was in Miami, having that situation with the Cubans, and it worked. So I would come outside like 8 in the morning, go and get my coconut, and I would walk around South Beach, and I would greet people with positive greetings. You know what I'm saying? I will greet people positively, and I'm not married to the results, so they could be like, "Fuck you, nigger," and I still would be like, "Have a good day," right? Because I'm not responsible for their response. I'm only responsible for my attempt to make the connection that I acknowledged you. You know what I'm saying? As a celestial being, and it was in sincerity, and I'm doing it by acknowledging the light in your heart and the light in your pineal, in your mind. You know what I'm saying? I'm not looking at your face or your race, because the exodermis, you know, the outer layer of our skin, is the last thing to form when we're in the womb. So this is not necessarily who you are. This is the last iteration of your manifestation as a being. You're a spark of light first. And if we deal with each other from light intelligence, the fact that they said that we are light beings, what you think that they meant by that? So I go straight to the light. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, that's Christ consciousness, and I've been able to implement those things, and then I get dragged down into low vibrational terrestrial affairs because I deal with, you know, the race and you know what I'm saying? Again, healing from, even if the trauma is not my own, because I don't have too many terrestrial traumas dealing with troglodytes. I'm more so I be in my feelings for shit that happened to my people that didn't directly happen to me. You know what I'm saying? You know, the shit that I gotta, you know, I'm wrestling with is the shit that was done to me by people that look like me still to this day. You know, that has been my experience. You feel me? So that was my Christ challenge last 2022 January when I was in Miami. I was just challenging people to go outside and do this challenge. You know what I'm saying? Acknowledge everybody that you come across, right, with the highest vibrational level of acknowledgement, and don't be married to the response, because you're not responsible for their response. You're just making the connection, right? You're making the acknowledgement. You know what I mean? So that's all you got to do. That's all you should be responsible for. And don't miss nobody. I had to do everybody. The Karens, skinheads, the Cubans, right? Everybody that I came across. And I challenged myself to keep it consistent, right? And I had wonderful results and feedback. So that reminded me, you know, come back to the beach when I'm here. I'm often in that mindset because the beach is universal, right? There's people from everywhere in the world that come to South Beach and things of that nature. And, you know, you got to be open and receptive. I lean more so to being social rather than to being antisocial. You know what I'm saying? I'm not necessarily an antisocial person per se. So I say all that to say that yesterday, you know, I witnessed something, right? I was part of something. I bore witness to something. I participated in something that was truly paradigm shifting and transcendental in terms of where the possibilities lie, right? If we can understand that when I say it's us versus them, you know what I'm saying? Them is a principality. Them is not necessarily a race or ethnicity. You know what I mean? I do not believe that all white people are quote unquote bad people, or, you know what I'm saying, responsible for slavery or what have you. I do believe that the majority of the citizens of this country are operating off of a false premise based on the fact that they have faulty information on both sides. We don't know enough about them, and they damn sure don't know enough about us. And we're all operating off presupposed information. You think you know, and they think that they know, but we don't really know. We don't really know each other enough to be so sure, because we still getting to know ourselves. And there's a lot about our quote-unquote selves. And ourselves are the things that make us up based on our cellular disposition, right? The environment that you live in, the bloodline you was born to, and the history attached to that shit. We tap in, we come into these spacesuits, and these spacesuits are already pre-programmed with a back history. You know what I'm saying? In the back, like, I just heard KT breaking down the Clone Tyrone movie, and he was speaking about the fact that the clones are already pre-programmed. So we're all, like, technically clones. You know what I'm saying? Think about this. Let's get deep for a second. Right? I'm looking over here because I'm talking to my baby, right? Your mother's mother had all her eggs in her, but she had your mother in her womb, and your mother in her womb had all her eggs in her, right? And then you was born and you had your eggs in you. So the shit is fractal. But if Nana's experiencing something, imagine how it's affecting and rippling the mama, and then the mama got the egg in her that ultimately is going to become you, and then you. Man, this shit deep.
That's the program. It's like the coding.
This shit deep, right? Yeah.
It's the coding.
Yeah, it's the coding. So that, even that alone just tells you how valuable and important she is, right? As the woman, as the mama, because she is automatically multi-generational. She's automatically, right? And think about that. Think about how many eggs that the grandmother could supply, because we know the nanas that got 13 children, but she got 48 grandchildren.
Facts.
Right? We all know, we all heard that story. You all know about it. And if you don't, you need to talk to some melanated folks with some sizable families. Nana got 13 children, but she got 100-something grandchildren and 20 great-grandchildren. Right? Yeah. Great-great-grands, and all that shit is coming. This epigenetics, and you wondering, you like, damn, one person spawned this. And we're still struggling to understand the concepts of wealth on this planet. That's a whole nother story. You know what I'm saying? So she can't be cloned. That's why she wasn't cloned in Tyrone, because she can't be cloned. She is the mitochondrial magician. You know what I mean? She was spawn. She got a whole nation inside of her.
The source.
She's the physical source and manifestation, and her genes are, her skin cells will clone a whole nother you. But fuck around, and she clone a whole nother her, nigga. She could create a village, a city, because you need 150 citizens to make up a city. Out of her womb alone, she could create a city, a principality, a municipality, if you will, just out of her womb, just out of her yoni, just out of her bonus hole.
Lord of mercy. Lord have mercy. Disrespect.
Right? So, they go about to go to war or something. Look, they got these big ass army copters. So she got all of that going on for her. What she bring to the table? Fuck you niggas, man. Fuck you niggas, man.
How you got here?
Right? Yeah. She is the table, my nigga. She is the table.
And
She's
yes,
the table. She's the tablecloth.
The men provide the life force. They always like to say that you wouldn't have no baby if it wasn't for the man. But it's like, bruh, the minute that your mother made the decision that I'm going to have this baby, that's where your life really starts. You can put as much life into a woman as you want to. But it's her responsibility to get that through the other side. You ain't got no baby till I push it out.
Right. The job, it ain't over till it's over. And it's a duration. It's 270 days of gestation and you know what I'm saying? All of the different trimesters. Like, she got to carry the shit to, you feel me? You don't got a fucking touchdown because you got the ball. You caught the ball in the end zone and brought it to the 20-yard line. You still got to run it into the end zone on the other side and have an official. You got to win the game to actually win it. So it's not all said and done because you supply some chromosomes. You know what I'm saying? Like, she has to do the heavy lifting. She has to bring the life forward. You know what I'm saying? Like, there's a lot of lives that are cut off in birth. Like, I was breached. God damn it. You know what I'm saying? I was breached. I almost didn't make it. I came out this motherfucker blue. Yeah, they didn't even know I was in there. So all praise is due to the mama, you know, for going the extra mile. She has to endure the pain and she got to carry the child. She got to bring it through. And then she has to raise it and nurture it. You know what I'm saying? And be there. You know? Yeah, so she brings the entire table. You know what I'm saying? If we understand who she is and what she represents genetically, you know what I'm saying? Her mitochondria and just, you know, the magnificence of, you know, those eggs that she possesses. So yeah, that's the Henrietta Lack genes, you know. Absolutely. You know, saying all that to say, you feel me? Modern women lost what ability? They don't gestate, they don't give birth, they don't have the ability to have live births. What? Help me out, walk with me. What don't they do no more? What don't they do? What have they lost that they have been able to naturally do, my nigga? Please, help me out. Nonetheless, right? So, all that being said, man, right? We're born into particular situations and conditions, and you know, we have to master the terrain that we get born into, right? So in essence, we're clones as well, because Fontaine, he was born already pre-programmed, but he was born already as a 20-something-year-old, right? He didn't have a childhood. They just threw him back into the game, and there's always a clone to replace, you know, there's always a clone nigga to replace, you know what I'm saying, the last nigga who was that nigga, right? There's always a clone to replace that nigga.
But again, when you guys will talk about the breeding farms.
Yes.
But they clone a lot. Just
yeah.
like y'all clone dogs for specific.
Well, yeah. I mean, the nigga was created.
A nigga is a clone.
A nigga is a clone, right?
It's a hybrid.
It's a hybrid. By nature, he was created in the breeding farms in the wilderness of North America, and you know,
specifically programmed and coded to do a specific certain thing.
Specifically programmed and coded to do a specific thing. Now, I did not live through the Yaku experiment, but we've lived long enough to say, yeah, we're just a few generations removed from the nigga program, because there's no niggas in antiquity, so that's not something that we came over here with. You know what I'm saying? It would be impossible. You know what I mean? Because we have never been experienced, or we have never been exposed to be inseminated with the Western man's mind, and that's what a nigga is. He has a Africanoid anatomy with a European mind. That's a nigga. You know what I'm saying? So Key said something key during his acceptance speech yesterday at the Conscious Awards, and he said, you know, we're the ones that they don't clone. You know what I'm saying? We're the ones that they don't have clones for. You know what I mean? And that's what I saw in the building last night. That I saw a consortium of individuals that are so unique to their circumstance, whether they have white or black quote-unquote spacesuits, right? Which is, you know, those words are a misnomer, right? Whether they are melanin dominant or melanin recessive, they are truth seekers, and they're going against the grain of whatever the narrative is that's prevalent out here in dominant society. And those individuals don't have clones. Those individuals are singular unto themselves, right? But what I want to overstress in terms of the perils of our community versus what I saw yesterday, right, being exposed to the other side of consciousness, is that they have the ability, right, to think terrestrially or celestially, should I say, right, where we can only go terrestrial because of our trauma. We're so tethered to our trauma here on earth, and we have such a point to prove to ourselves, right, and to others, that we can't even get into the conversation that is universal and galactic. It's impossible for us to talk or think out the box because we're so magnetized by the parameters of this particular box. You feel me? And that's where the trap off is. So there was a clear dichotomy in the building yesterday. I didn't want to point it out. You know what I mean? And I'm not going to speak too heavy on it because I'd rather keep this conversation about oneness and unity, right? But we also have to be clear. And then somebody walked up to me and they was like, I really prayed that Dr. Blair could have been here to see this. You know what I'm saying? Because even when our teachers would come amongst us to this community and attempt to have a universal conversation, you know what the universal conversation is, y'all? Nigga, you are not alone. And you're spending way too much time on dealing with your fucking trauma and making excuses about not, locking the doors, closing the windows, turning off the phone and dealing with this shit. That you are dealing with so much downstairs human shit. Right? Corny human shit. That when the real shit come, because the real shit is here, it's not even the real shit is coming, the real shit is here, right? Where are niggas gonna find themselves, right? And then we don't have no thought leaders amongst us outside of Billy Carson and maybe two other people that I could think that are having the conversation about our galactic veterans and sisterins, right? The fact that we're not alone in this galaxy. And this planet is about to receive a wake-up call that is going to jolt it into chaos or order. The order is people automatically unifying, right? Because you got to bow down to something greater than you, right? So there's going to be a prevalent demonstration in the fact that there's going to be a race for great. They're going to be like, nah, we're not acquiescing to no, quote-unquote, alien life form. Man is going to want to be man, right? Man is going to dig into his Leo self. He's going to be like, nah, I'm man. Like, nigga, man even wants to subordinate God. So what you think he's going to do to some aliens? So he's going to be grabbing his nuts trying to assert himself. That's what men do, right? Women found that out last week, right? Let them niggas put on some lipstick, yeah.
Trying to attack,
right?
Trying to help us,
right? They're attempting to attack. You know, I don't know if you are tapping into, and I don't recommend this individual a lot. I caught myself. I was about to say something else, but DJ Flad, right? He has Dr. Stephen Greer on there right now. Okay? And I highly recommend from the bottom of my heart, you know, if you're listening to me and you're in this audience and you are, you know, because you got to be past the rigmarole of every day I got bills to pay conversation and demonstration. You know what I mean? This is the importance that we were stressing to have discernment. If you can't tell these scheming, scamming ass people in this community amongst you that are so obvious, right? What you gonna do with interacting with alien life form, super intelligent alien life form that are able to telepathically read your mind and communicate and just see things about, you know what I'm saying? Like, you're not prepared. And this is the dangerous part. That we're getting to a space and time where complacency is going to be your death kill. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's going to be very difficult. If niggas is already cuckoo in these streets, right? And we keep talking about motherfuckers are being fine designer, and all of that. Dressed to a T. Fit, and materialistically well kept. Right? I put that shit on type of nigga. Them niggas is out here talking to themselves right now. Right? Blogging with no Bluetooth, right? They just talking to themselves. Right? Niggas is out here lost in the sauce. And there's no longer a typical uniform that goes along with that. Because it's the niggas in the suit and ties doing it now. It's the people that appear to be well kept. And they're off. So what you think will happen when people at rest with their reality, or they get, let's say you get violently introduced to the reality that you're not alone, and you sharing space with some people who are technically more advanced than you. You don't want to tell me, but I'm gonna let you know because I've studied human beings long enough to know, right? Especially dealing with our interactions in this terrestrial realm with the colonizer, is that he gets a pass because, one, you see him as God, and two, you are reliant on him for your safety, security, and your food, right? He is your daddy, not just God daddy.
And you scared of him.
And
he willing to do things to go places you're not willing
yeah,
to go.
he's willing to go places that you're not willing to go to prove a point. So you're really scared of him. You're in fear of him, and you're dependent on him. So he's your daddy, right? He's your daddy. He is your God. Okay? Root chakra deals with God. It deals with country. It deals with security. It deals with family. You know what I'm saying? This nigga's the head of your household. He pays your bills. He puts the food on your table. Right? He tells you what to do like God. You feel me? And you're scared of him. And he is physically inferior to you, so you're scared of his intellect or the things that he's willing to do. And a lot of what he does is off of bluff. So you're scared of some shit don't even exist.
Exactly. That's in his way.
Right? You scared of the dark because you're scared of death. Because you was fed a concept of death from in the back of your mind. The white God is your God, and you think that it's hellfires and you're gonna burn, and the devil is black, and you fearful, right? Because you think that that's where you deserve to go, and you're not good enough for heaven because you're not white.
Exactly. In the back of your mind.
In the back of your mind, whether you want to tell me
want to be with God
or
but
not,
yeah. Die.
Whether you want to tell it to me or not, nigga, I studied you long enough that I'm just drop that gem on you and you sit with that, right? And talk to yourself in the mirror. Convince yourself in the mirror that you're not. Don't try to convince me, right? Because I study you, right? And by your actions and your activities, the things that you say, the way that you act, I know this is the program that you're running off of. You feel me? And I know it's necessary for you to delete that program, and we haven't done those things yet. Right? So you got to get over the terrestrial trauma, the terrestrial triggers, the terrestrial tethers, you know what I'm saying, to keep us bound to a very simplified race identity.
Yeah.
Where I'm like, when we going to talk about our cosmic origins? Right? What if we're green all along?
And even
or
all
blue?
That low level stuff is super trivial, and it's more complex than what everything really is. You know, my experience with, I don't know if I call them extraterrestrials, but I'll say other beings. And every time I have an experience with them and I have to do something, it's no thinking. You know, I could sit there and be like, I don't know how do I do this? And everything is based up off telepathy. So I can't even think about how, what, you know, it's just you need to relax yourself. And if If you want to get on the other side of that door, get on the other side of that door.
That's it, yeah.
Period. It's nothing else to think about, worry about, and that's how they operate.
It's no tricking.
None of that.
It's no finessing, no fast talking.
Because it just is what it is. They don't even have to open their mouth. They don't even have to be in front of you. But you're going to get the message. You're going to hear it.
You're going to get the download. You're going to get the message, and you're going to move.
You got to let go of a lot of that trivial shit.
You got to let go. You got to, you know what I'm saying? You got to have an open hand to receive. You know what I mean? Or you're not going to, you know, I don't want to tell you that you're not going to make it, because I don't know that to be true.
No,
but
it's not you're not going to make it. It's just going to, you know, it's just going to be an abrupt realization. Very abrupt realization that you have. Like when people have children when they're teenagers, and you a teenage parent, you got to act very abruptly. You got to go from teenager to adult real quick. And that's how it's going to be. When you get with this shit, you ain't got no time to think about what bills, who, what, where, when. You're just going to have to do it. And especially those that got kids, you got to be extra, what's the word, maybe vigilant?
Yeah.
Because this is going to be the world for your babies.
Oh, yeah.
This is your baby's world.
Yeah,
this is going to be your baby's reality.
This your baby's reality, that they are now in charge with mastering this terrain of not only did you not teach them how to overcome the competition from the colonizer, right? Something that we can measure, something that we could gauge. Because, I mean, it's unrealistic to think, all right, every species has a challenge. You know what I'm saying? Every people got a story and a narrative. And although I don't want us to be so tethered to our terrestrial record, it's still necessary because you're still here on planet Earth in this particular dimension. You know what I'm saying? And if you're looking to know thyself, yeah, part of your history is important. Because all of these things serve as markers for you to be more intelligent about yourself, about your circumstance, your surroundings, and the probabilities of the future, because you are charged with teaching children and preparing them for the future. You know what I'm saying? So your children are going to inherit two AIs. They're going to inherit artificial intelligence and also alien invasions or alien intelligence or alien interventions, right? Or alien interactions, right? Your children are they're gonna merge with two forms of AI, and both of them are gonna be potential existential threats to their existence. Because either one of them can take them out. If they sleep, if they do the shit that we're doing as parents, if we become so lazy and lethargical and laid back, right? Self-absorbed. So concerned with, this is the first, and I'm sure y'all gonna correct me, this is the first Monday that I can remember in a long time that we weren't choosing the new woman of the week to bomb on.
Oh,
who's it this week?
Oh. I thought you was talking about like when they used to do MCN WCW Day.
Oh, they don't do that no more, right?
I know, because I thought about that the other day. But yeah, what you saying?
You know, like every week there's a new woman that.
Oh.
The whole last week it was just hilarious. The week before that it was the girl that was missing. The week before that it was Keke Palmer. In the same week it was Megan and India Arie and Jill Scott. And every week there's a new woman that the community is bombing on, or who says something to put things in perspective. So I don't know who it is today, but it's Cardi. My bad. It's Cardi B. It's Cardi B today, right? So Cardi B has marginalized the community, where I seen thought pieces by melanated thought leaders that saying that, you know, she's never loved black culture and she's a pariah to our culture and she would never do that to the Latino community. Things of that nature, and she's not one of us. And you know, we went right into the race bag and the differences that we have as a people, quote unquote. Whereas hip hop is a universal, right? It's a universal art form that speaks a universal language, and you know, these are our ratchets. This is the shit that we've created. You know what I'm saying? She is a result of, you know,
The strip club culture.
yeah, strip club culture and the whole culture that us as a music, you know, and the culture we have helped create and promote and propagate. You feel me? She's been baked in the pressure cooker known as hip hop. And she's, you know, she's a fake diamond, right? She, the lab test ones, the ones you cook in the pressure cooker and shit. So that's our creation. So yeah, you know, we go through a lot of terrestrial trauma, and we do it weekly. It's trending. So very rarely do we allow enough space to have these celestial conversations. And what I saw last night is a consortium of individuals who do not deal with terrestrial trauma. And that cannot, okay, so their personal, their birth line, their through line, you know, how they contracted to come here plays a part, because whatever household they ended up in, whatever racial group they belong to, right, so to say, they didn't have to deal with, and I can't say that not all of them didn't, but the terrestrial traumas that we have to deal with, that's not necessarily what they got to deal with, right? So there's nothing necessarily biting at their ankles, always reminding them of their earthly duties, right, to even the score.
And then I'm sorry, but they grow up in an environment where they're pushed to do what they want to do, and somebody has to tell you and prove to you that you don't deserve to get what you want, as opposed to us, where no matter what, if we breathe the wrong way, we knocking y'all ass over and hanging you off a tree. But for them, it's like, no, you're going to have to prove to me that I can't have this information, that I'm not worthy of being in certain spaces, because if I want it, that's what I want, and I have a right to. You hear them always say that. It's my right to do
Right.
X, Y, and Z, and you can't tell them different. But for us, you know, it genetically or even encoded, programmed within us.
Program, right?
You know, in the back of your mind, your subconscious, like, you may want to do something, but you're going to reach a point where I ain't fucking with them white people, because I ain't finna get my ass shot.
Right. So yeah, you got limits, right?
limits.
Self-imposed limits automatically put on you that you like, I can't take it there because these white folks gonna put me at the bottom of the jail. These white folks gonna come and do this to me. These white folks gonna do me like Fred Hampton. These white folks gonna bomb my village if I attempt to build something to better the life for my children. If I have the audacity to do for self, these white folks gonna come. That's your programming, right? And it works amazingly. When you bear witness to people who don't have that programming, who don't have limits, who don't have fears, and their idea of freedom, they were programmed totally. They were told, go get it by any and all means. They are really operating by any means necessary.
Yep.
And you see the evidence of it. So, shout out to Billy Carson. At the end of the day, is what I'm saying is that,
Yeah.
and you could take it or leave it. You know what I'm saying? You could do either or. But for those that did participate, and for those who are tapping in after the fact, and they're bearing witness on somewhat of a new paradigm that has been built, you know, the brother has an amazing ability to bridge worlds, right? To build a bridge.
Absolutely.
Just in case you want some information that's going to update you to the current conversation taking place. And the current conversation taking place is a celestial one. It is not terrestrial, nigga. If you have not figured out what to do about killer cops at this point, if you have not figured out what to do about ultra processed foods at this point, my nigga, if you have not figured out to do about redlining at this point, then you have horribly failed, you know what I'm saying, the game of time. You have horribly failed it, because you have not initiated an all-out, you know what I'm saying, you know, you have not orchestrated an emergency meeting yet to this day, nigga, where everybody put their resources on the table and we dealt with this shit as if our lives depended on it. We ain't do that. We are pretending like we got way too much time on our hands. And the way that we operate and utilize our free time, niggas, not beneficial. It's not productive, and it's not advancing us on a galactical level for people who say that they are the gods of the universe and the cream. Like, we don't have no commentary dealing with the galactic interaction of other world species right now. Right? And the shit is personal to me because I know what I did. I brought my ocean and my atmosphere with me everywhere that I went in 2010. And I was bringing motherships and motherfucking diamond crafts. Everywhere I went, I would bring a motherfucking ship with me. And I would challenge these niggas that got all of this mouth. Right? Not hostilely challenging them either. I would just be like, yo, talk to the craft. Like, let's communicate with them. The shit, let me show you how to do it. Shout out to my brother Mansa. He did it. Right? Shout out to Mansa. He stepped up. We was in the 15th floor of his condo and they showed up. And he was in there with his whiz. And it was it was disbelief at first, but how can you know what I'm saying? Once you bear witness, you can't motherfucking make no excuses for yourself. You got to get with the program, and he got with the program real quick. And he was able to communicate with them telepathically and see for himself. Because this is a self-affirming truth that you have to live with. Like, oh shit, that ain't nothing human is doing that. And if the feds got machinery like this, nigga, then you already lost. Then you should get with the program. You feel me? You should become a Tekashi ass nigga or something and just give up. Just acquiesce, right? Because it's a wrap. These was not malevolent entities from what I can tell. They were very benevolent. They were very youthful and playful. And they were very powerful. And they want to communicate. And they showed up every single day, you know. After June 25th, 2010, they was probably with me until November and December. And then every now and then they'll pop back up. You know what I'm saying? Niggas want to know, they want to know what to do. They want to know what to... Because it's like getting past their fears and then thinking about...
Go right ahead, because that's what's
you
going
know,
to happen when his dad come home.
Is there any monetary... You know, is there any monetary compensation? Like, if niggas can't make a money off of it, they don't want nothing to do with it. They can't even sell that shit. They like, nah, son. That's what I was told by the thought leaders. They couldn't monetize the moment, so they didn't care for it. And I'm just like, yo, like whole civilizations, whole entities have been attempting to get in contact with us. You know what I mean? But we're so traumatized. And then niggas started taking mushrooms. And then we was contacting them again. And then what niggas going to do? Start abusing the fucking mushrooms.
Talking about to take some mushrooms with Hennessy.
Yeah.
I'm like, what? That is not what this is. Y'all finna be
there you go.
Up.
Hey. Peace to the God.
How you doing?
Peace. What's good with you?
How you doing?
Yeah. So, I'm telling them, it's my guy, Richie Moon.
Peace to the planet. What's going on, everybody?
Right? I'm telling them to come 2020, right here on this beach, matter of fact. All right? We started dabbling in the shroom experiments again, you know, touching down, and craft was showing up, right? We were communicating with entities and all of that once again. And then, you know, boomies and shrooms have became something in our community that is now over abused. Like, like the shit is loud. Right. You know what I'm saying? They dealing with the shit like a Zaza, mixing it with Henny and all of that. And I'm saying all that to say that we were finally dealing with our trauma. We were finally overcoming certain experiences so we can empty our vessel to become receptive to these entities that are attempting to get our attention and communicate with us, whether they are in planet or off planet, right? God damn it, they show up, motherfucker. They make themselves visibly known.
Facts.
And you got to be ready to receive or even have some sort of an inclination of what you can do with that level of interaction and contact, right? And I seen us getting there. It was very close. We was right there. And then niggas started abusing them shits.
Right.
Or letting the journeys go to their heads and thinking that, you know what I'm saying, they was the Dalai Lamas and shit like that.
Right. Chasing the feeling instead of the effects.
Instead of the effects, right?
Yeah.
They had the opposite effect on niggas' egos. Only niggas can do that. Mind you, right? Only niggas could do that because a nigga doesn't have an end game. It's only ego. You feel me? So I would recommend, for the sake of growing up in this information and preparing yourself for the gods that you say that you are, you cannot be a god without a galactic interaction or like somebody got to galactically vouch for you, my nigga. Like, we're gonna stop it. Like, you can't be a god if you can't call a craft, right? Let's start there. You can't be a god if you can't summon a craft. You can't be a god if you don't communicate with one. If they don't fuck with you, why should we? So I would recommend that you tap into some of the networks that made themselves known yesterday at the awards, you know what I'm saying? And maybe like this time next year, it wouldn't be, there's a black conscious community and a white conscious community. Maybe there would just be unilateral consciousness because we have to move forward to have an expansive galactic conversation. We have to have a universal conversation at the space and time because I want to go to different planets, you know what I'm saying, and get shit popping. I want to be on that exploratory committee. I want to be at the welcome committee when they touch down. You feel me? I want to have my name called up where they like, yeah. But even have my name called up just from them, from the ancestors. I want to be at that space in my life one more time where, you know what I mean?
And if we still on some black and white, this person's black, this person's white, we know the history and what's been done to us. But I think when you come to a certain level of consciousness, that has to come to a point where you're looking above that. You know what I'm saying? When you're looking at your soul family, and your soul family might not always come in the form of a melanated person. I've learned that I can speak from my experience that some of my soul family has not come in the form of a melanated person. And I'm not going to sit here and block my blessings because, they don't have the same color as me. They're not black and brown. They don't got the same history as me. That difference is what brought us all together and which is really making us realize, for me personally, that we are a lot more similar than we are different. And that's not to excuse everything that happened. We know what happened, but unless we're going to hop in the flux capacitor and fix that, then we need to deal with what's going on now. And now, if people's down for the same mission and they got the same intention, then come on, I'm not worried about if you got blonde hair and blue eyes. Because a lot of people with brown hair and curly hair, they got the illest intentions and is really plotting on our downfall. So I want to meet people on a soul level and interacting with the boonies and not abusing them, using them for being intentional, for having purposes and having an end game to it, like my good brother just said, will help you elevate to that next level.
Right. So, how do we make a space, for a potential ally? How do you assess an ally? How do you assess an ally? Right? How do you assess an ally? You know what I mean? You would have to know what your end game is or your end goal. Because for you to say something like, we have something that's mutual, right? We have a mutual desire. You feel me? Then you would have to know, you know what I'm saying? My initial desire, I will want to say, is to protect this planet. My initial desire is to create a safe space where our children in particular can be protected and flourish, as strong, centered individuals. My desire is to have access to free air and free water. You feel me? My desire, then there's terrestrial desires like free or political prisoners and
Right.
you feel me? And
I look at it, if we're going to interact with our cosmic ancestors, is it going to be on a level like, well, y'all still dealing with the issues of black and white?
So that's kind of what I was saying.
Right.
We're tethered to terrestrial issues. Black and white is an earthbound issue for the most part. Right? For the most part.
Yeah.
It can have some ramifications terrestrially, right? But your epidermis is the last phase of your development in the womb, right? The skin.
Right.
And so it's like the spark of light, soul, right? These are the things that connect you to source. Ultimately, this is where you came from, this is who you are. You feel me? How do we honor that? How do we honor that relationship? How do we honor that connection? You know what I'm saying? And is it possible for you to deal with your inner self before you get trapped up in the outer self and outer world dealings? Because this is how we've been taught and programmed, right? Oh, something is coming at me. I have a natural adversary. Something always out to get me. You know what I'm saying? Life ain't fair. You feel me? Like Tyrone, we was born into a body that already had all of the pre-existing beefs and narratives associated with it. The program is already pre-programmed and baked into the vessel.
Right.
That you get cloned into.
Right.
Right?
Predisposed epigenetics.
Predisposed epigenetics with beefs, timelines, all that, right? You got to correct shit that was done incorrected 4,000 years ago, 3,000 years ago. Libraries are burned. They want you to rewrite the books and shit.
Right.
When do you have time to write the new books? Right? And what does it look like? And are you paying enough attention? Are you putting enough time and effort into saying, we on live, brother. Right?
One second.
Dang, through my thoughts, man. Damn.
We're paying for our karmic debt. How do we deal with paying for our karmic debt? I think by recognizing that we have the karmic debt first. So, unfortunately, there's a lot of us that are not even aware of the predisposed epigenetics of the karmic debt that we're paying for. So I think that's one step, is recognizing that it's there and dealing with it. And I think when you start to deal with it, I really like the way you worded it, with dealing with your own end game. Because if you're just out there aimlessly shooting, something's gonna stick to the wall. But what's the point of you shooting? You know what I'm saying? So I think it's it sounds cliche, but this journey that we're on is this self-awareness journey and everything that comes along with it. And I think once you become aware of that journey, then you take that inner journey and you can mirror the inner to the outer, and that's how we can start to recognize people with allies, and we start to see people beyond, beyond the skin color and all that. It sounds cliche, but I think ultimately the simplest answers ultimately give us the best answers. For me personally, in my experience.
Right. So what say y'all? You know what I'm saying? Anybody got any feedback? Any
And this is why we can't abuse. This is why we can't abuse the boonies, because those boonies will give you insights and it will give you answers. But if you don't have any intention with it and you're just chasing a high, it ain't the loud. If you're just chasing that, then I think it's gonna put you down an endless rabbit hole. You're just gonna be constantly traveling with the rabbit in Alice in Wonderland. You're never gonna get to the end of the hole. You're just gonna be traveling just endlessly down.
Look, man, we have full-scale experiences and interactions with aliens when we go to Mount Shasta. I'm just telling you. I'm putting it out there. So we got another retreat, Labor Day weekend. I think that's the end of August, And it's like, that's the thing, like, teaching is experiential, right? So this is the thing that I'm noticing about the differences of said communities. A lot of the individuals that we met yesterday, they come from what might be called a white conscious community, for lack of a better term. I don't necessarily want to pigeonhole or marginalize it like that, but just for identification purposes, their teachers are experiential.
Yes.
Experiential. So they know these people because these people are like amateur archaeologists. We had some of them sitting behind us. Like, they go to the sites, they do the diggings, they go in the monuments, they go to the temples. Our people is motherfucking, we read 100 books about it.
Right, but we ain't been there
We could
yet.
tell you about the shit from 3,000 years ago, right? We could name the nigga who drew up the rough draft to make it. But have you been there? Right? Have you spent time there? Have you slept in this shit? You know what I'm saying? Have you discovered anything new about it by going there? Has the ancestors spoken to you when you went there? Did you get possessed to come back with something? At least Crowley could be like, shit, I came back where I was and I had a real experience.
Right.
Why are our ancestors communicating with them and not with y'all? Because I don't be hearing nobody come from trips from Egypt like, yeah, I interacted with a deity. You know, all these niggas is off, but they ain't get that from.
Right.
Let me chill.
Everybody has it on me. I think, to speak on that lightly, I think Key spoke on this too. Sometimes we look so far, we look into Africa, we look into all these places, and they're great. A lot of great things happen. But what I've learned from recently traveling around this land, Wakatanda, this land right here is so beautiful. And there's so many places here that we should tap into. And that's when I sent you that picture from Oregon.
Yes, Oregon, yes.
That, I had no idea. I was traveling up and down the Columbia Snake River, and I had no idea of the history into it until somebody else explained it to me. I called Professor Cabo, was like, da-da-da-da. He pointed me in the right directions of where to look at with the Columbia Snake River.
Right, so you had an experiential experience.
Yes.
You tapped in, you were physically somewhere, and you were having a real-time experience. You had to figure some shit out in real life.
Yes, in real time, in real life.
How about you with Oregon?
Oh my goodness. At first I was pissed. I was pissed off because in school, when they teach us about Oregon, they would teach about like the Trail of Tears and just all the traumatic things that have happened with the indigenous people. And you feel like, damn, I never even want to be around nothing like that. And I'm from the city. I'm from New York. I'm from Brooklyn. So it's already hard enough to get me to want to go anywhere else besides the city. But that, I was like, hell no. But when I got there and I saw it, I was just in awe. Like, I was upset because I'm like, damn, y'all been, the propaganda, the marketing on this place has been terrible. And the shit just, it was like a breath of fresh air. It looked like the label off the Deer Park bottle.
So, this young lady, she's from Franklin Ave. Anybody from Brooklyn, y'all know Franklin Ave. Yeah, Klamath Falls, right? Right? Yeah, we don't go to Portland. We go as far as Eugene, Oregon. But this young lady's from Franklin Avenue. Like, people don't make it out of her neighborhood, let alone off her block.
No, not at all.
On the other side of the country.
Not at all.
Not Franklin
For
Avenue.
real.
And if they're leaving the strip, they're going to tie a small town down and make it a drug strip.
Roman mentality.
You know.
Or we go
But yeah,
places
they're
that
going
we
like
know
Romans.
other people have already been. Y'all checked it out. It's good. All right, what spots I should go to? Okay, and we don't really deviate from that.
Right.
So to like experience that was just, and then, you know, getting a little bit of the history and knowing like, damn, this is ours. And then you go deep, 3 hours deep into the forest, no service. And it's all them people there. They got their RVs parked up. The kids be there since they was born. They know how to swim in the cold
Even in an
water.
environment like that, we went 5 hours into the forest on a trip to Oregon. It was the most beautiful thing ever.
Beautiful.
Right? And we done ran into a white boy that...
White boy, we were in the forest, like deep in the forest. Nobody was there. We coming out and this random Dookie Howser looking white boy's like, are you Blue Pill?
Wow.
I was literally just watching your live.
Wow.
He's like, I was just watching your live, man. Oh my God, I can't believe I met you.
You never know who's watching.
That's why I be like, these
Never know
numbers,
who's watching.
these numbers be lying.
They definitely
They'll
do.
never tell us
No.
what our reach is.
With the
And
reasons, for real.
just like the individuals I was meeting yesterday that said that they watch our content, and I'm like, how? Wait,
And they
what?
from
How
across
fun?
the ocean,
Right.
from different
like-
countries I never heard of across the ocean.
I'm like, yeah, the algorithm is lying. They're not telling
They
us
don't tell
about
you,
the
no.
reach for real. They duping the numbers. They not telling you that you super duper, you know, viral and you know what I'm saying? The way that people connect with the content is not reflected. They're not gonna tell you. You know what I mean?
That's a fact.
But I also want this young lady to tell you, I mean, have you ever seen UFOs?
Man, listen, the first time was when we were in Jacksonville, but the last time we went to Mount Shasta, it was insane. I'd never seen anything like that.
Now, can it be a shadow of a doubt? Like, because, you know, people be like, you might have seen.
No, because
yeah.
people be like, oh, I know planes, but then a lot of people like to talk about the satellites. Now, that's what I was looking for. I'm looking for the satellites that they say are there, but what I saw was not no satellite. And the most interesting thing, that whole time we were there was smoky, because, you know, all those fires were happening.
Right.
But that night, the August 7th, it like literally the clouds parted like Moses, like Moses in the Red
Right.
Sea. And the shit, it was literally like watching Star Trek. Like you had a live front row seat to watching Star Trek. I mean, just a whole bunch of shit that I just couldn't even really explain. I have to draw it for you. Because it was some like, what the hell? And all night till the sun came
Hours
up.
and hours and
Till
hours.
it was one more. We watched the one last craft, and it looked like it descended into a mountain.
Fact. Oh, facts.
The one
twin,
last
yeah.
one when the
And
sun had came
right,
up.
Right.
And I'm like, what? Because that's what most of them was coming out of that mountain at the beginning of it, and then there was just different quadrants of the sky where
It was just pockets of them.
like a freeway.
Yeah, like a freeway. It was four different
What is going on?
freeways.
And they were
down
showing
there.
off.
Yeah, they was wilding up
They
there.
were showing off,
They was
going in
having-
and out of existence.
In and out of
geometric
in and out of
patterns.
wormholes. They was chasing each other down. It was like they was having a war. But
And some had slowed down so you could see it.
some slowed down so you could.
They slowed down so you
I'm
could
talking
see
about
it.
we on
And
top
then,
of a mountain, so ain't no light up there.
no lights up there.
It's just you
Nothing.
in the sky,
You in the sky.
and you seeing everything from 1 a.m. to 8 in the morning. And it was 20 of us, so it ain't like
Yeah,
she
it
just
wasn't-
telling
yeah,
you,
no,
I could get 19
group
other
of
people
us.
online, God damn it, that can. And I'm saying this is every single time that we go up there, we have an experience. So I'm past the attempting to over explain shit to people with all of this descriptive language. I'm like, no, get in the motherfucking driver's seat and experience these things for yourself, so you won't be in denial, so you can prepare your mind and your heart for what is going to be overwhelming for a lot of people when they find this out. Because like I said, your safety, your subconsciously, your safety and security is tethered to the fact that the white man has superior military. And the fact that you pay taxes for him, you feel like he's responsible for your safety and security. So you don't want nothing to happen to him. You don't you don't want the
don't wanna
fall
do
of
that.
America to happen. Yeah.
I do not want to do his job.
You don't want to do his job. You want him to do the heavy lifting, and you just want to take the selfies, right? And that's just the truth of the matter. You don't want to run government. You don't want to secure borders. You don't want to govern the airspaces. You don't want to have to do the intergalactical diplomacies. You don't want to do those things, right? So, yeah, for you seeing something, if you see him scared, imagine how that's going to make you feel.
Right. Because
If you see him scared, imagine how you gonna get.
But it
I
should
seen
be
it on 9/11,
empowering.
nigga. Yeah, I seen it
should
on
be-
9/11. I seen what happens.
It should be empowering for you because you should have an understanding that, again, a lot of the things that you deal with or you think is important is very trivial. And that there's so much more to this existence than, you know, what you wear, what your body look like, and you getting to go here, there, whatever. It's so much more. Or even being scared of anything. It's so
Right.
much more to life than that foolishness. And I
That
think
shit-
this kind of thing
yeah.
opens you up, because once you leave an area like Shasta and you're going into Oregon, it don't stop. that wasn't just a one-time experience and then I go back to my regular life. No, it's shit that's still happening.
Mike, I'm telling you, like, nothing pushed me past my fear like that.
Fact.
My first full-fledged interaction with 2010, June 25th, the night of, 1 year anniversary after Michael Jackson made transition in Central Park. I had my close encounter, and when I got over the fear factor within seconds, because I'm having an experience, I never had no. My enthusiasm and eagerness has replaced fear. Well, I'm willing to do whatever. You know what I'm saying? If this is what it's gonna take. You know what I mean? If this is what it's gonna take. But I'm not gonna be fearful about it. I'm going to walk into the void of the unknown, you know, with courage. You know what I'm saying? Because I don't see myself losing the game of life, right? Being exploring, you know what I'm saying, what the options are, or lifting and looking behind the veil. I don't feel as if I'm going to be penalized for that. You know what I'm saying? I don't look at that as an arbitrary thing that I'm going to be penalized for. I think that that's something that I have to be worthy of. And I have to still work towards to get to that pinnacle point where I can be a representative for myself, my people, you know what I'm saying, and my progeny, to actually, you know, be benefited to be stepping on that plane. And these are the things that you're making yourself worthy of. You're working towards these things. You know what I'm saying? So I guess it all comes down to intention at the end of the day. You know? Comes down to intention.
They can feel our emotions. From what I've been told, they can feel our emotions.
That's exactly what, like when I had, I made the observation, they showed up, and then there was like a field that came over me, like an energy wave. And in that energy wave, everything that they need to know about me, because that's when I started knowing things about them. So there's a mutual connection, an interaction. You know what I mean? I'm being mapped. I'm being, you know what I mean? Oh, this nigga's scared. He's not ready. Or, oh, shit, okay. We see great promise in this. His heart is open. You know what I'm saying? His intentions are in the right place. You know, this is not going to affect him negatively. Boom. But the people, I was with people who was fucking terrified.
I was terrified at first.
You know what I mean?
I was terrified at first.
Yeah.
I was on the ship, and
oh shit, okay.
I was on the ship down the Columbia Snake River, and you know, we all know the difference between planes and different lights. And I kept focused on this one particular light because it kept unfolding on itself. It kept showing the primary colors, the yellows, blues, purples, and greens. And then when I noticed it, and it felt me observe it, that's when it started, like you said, it started to show out on itself. Like, oh, you noticed? Yeah. Oh, let me show you. Nah, this isn't an illusion. Let me unfold on myself.
Let
me show you. Yeah. And I was scared. I was scared. I always heard about these things. I heard the story from Blue personally before, but that was my first time observing it. So a part of me wanted to go inside, and I did start to back up. But then it became playful. It started like swirling itself and showing itself like, well, what is there really to be afraid of?
Exactly.
And I just kept staring at it. I was on the 5th deck. I went up to the 6th deck so I can get even closer. And then when I went up to the 6th deck, and I guess I realized, all right, he's fear, but despite that fear, he's still going to interact with us. That's when it became playful. I felt a sense of calmness going about, and it came a little closer. And I think if you have that, if you are worthy enough to get that kind of interaction, you need to interact with it. Don't run away from it, and embrace it, and they will come to you in other ways.
Right.
Facts. Yeah, he summarized it. You know what I'm saying?
I wanted to call you. Deadass wanted to call you. I was about to call you in the cable line like on 3-way, and I realized I'm on the West Coast. They're probably like 6 in the morning where they at. So,
right.
But yeah. I actually told the Kebulon about that experience. But yeah, it was
She want to say something.
Powerful.
What?
I thought you wanted to say something.
Oh no, I was just in agreement, with what you were saying.
Yeah. So
that's definitely the energy. Like when you say they understand your emotions. That's what I was saying. It's like telepathic. And it's a gnosis, because a lot of sometimes, even when I'm on the mushrooms, I don't see anything, but I have gnosis. Like I don't know how to explain what I know. I just know it. And sometimes it comes like in my mind, like different images, but the way that they're together, I immediately just understand it, and I know what I'm supposed to, how I'm supposed to express it, how I'm supposed to, communicate it.
Mm-hmm.
And a lot of the times my interactions have been very much that, because sometimes I could be an overthinker. And I'll have like things that I have to do. Like one time it was like this building, but the building was all automatic. There was no key, there was no buttons. It was telepathic. It was a telepathic. So if you wanted to go in the door, you just have to go in the door. You feel me? It's like you have to know that you can do it. You don't have to move your hand. You don't got to turn a knob. You don't have to push nothing.
That's the energy. That's the energy.
You just got to do it.
That's
you
the
have
energy
to know
of
that
it
it's
all.
possible.
Yeah.
You have to see it, see yourself on the other side of the door, and you do it. And I remember like thinking to myself, I don't know how to do this. And then they were like, just first of all, calm down, relax.
Calmness.
Right, just relax first, breathe, calm down. All that stuff that you think about, stop, let it go. If you want to be on the other side of that door, be on the other side of that door. And I was on the other side of that door.
It's as simple as that. It comes down to that, being so intentional, being so firm in your gnosis that it's not anything that can be explained. You just, once again, you have to know it's the feeling. You move with it, and it's complimentary towards you.
It's like, and it's you could think of it as a simple way. When you want to do something, especially physical, or when you need to do something like I need to eat, you don't think too much about it. Either I'm going to order something and buy it, or I'm going to cook something. But either way, I got to eat. If you horny and you want to have sex, you're not going to think about all that. I'm going to find a way to get this off. You feel me? So it's, you think about it in the same way. When you want to do something or you need to do something, you're going to get it done. And that's just it. Period.
She from Franklin Ave. I couldn't pay her to lie.
Fact. Yeah, facts. Because I be looking for the lie. Because people be capping.
Big capping.
I don't believe everything. I got to see it myself.
Yeah.
I'm open-minded.
I got answer to the
But
block.
like, I gotta see something. Let me see. Take me.
I can't even convince her to lie. You know what I'm saying?
And it hadn't stopped. It hasn't stopped. It's not something, I just seen it, and what does that do for me? Like, nah. You're going to keep having experiences, and you just have to...
She seen one last week here in Miami.
Here in Miami. It was like in the midst of the planes, and I'm thinking it's one of the planes because it was coming dead on, so I couldn't really see the formation of it. But the thing went, shoot, real fast, came back, slowed down again, then poof, just in the midair. But it had a spark, like a firework almost. It sparked and disappeared.
A lot of sightings out here. When I was living over in the Paramount, man, shout out to Nova. Me and Nova were just sitting there looking in the sky, just like, you seen that, right? It's like, yeah, okay. As long as we not you seen that, right? Okay.
It looked like the DeLorean when it went. Like it disappeared. Like, what the hell just happened, bro?
So, we saying all that and all of this to say, you know what I'm saying, family, there's so much more, and these should be the most exciting times ever, you know what I mean, for the nature of exploration that man is about to partake on. And it's self-discovery, it's inner discovery. It's finally getting, you know what I'm saying, some facts on the table, which I know about us.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? A little bit that we know about y'all, we can share. But yesterday, like I said, I saw a room of people who yesterday may be little known or nameless, right, or not necessary amongst our people who are still dealing with terrestrial trauma, right? Yes. And our people are still dealing with identity politics, unfortunately. But by this time next year, I think that those people are going to be, you know what I'm saying, the thought leaders of the world, because they represent a conversation that is the advanced conversation, and it's going to supplant a lot of other conversations on this planet as being one of the most important conversations. These people are going to be the subject matter experts on a topic, and the conversation is going to overshadow everything else. Right.
Their very existence should eliminate those conversations. Just by them making themselves known, Moors, Hebrew Israelite, Christian, whatever you identify with, all that gets nullified with their existence. Because it's just and then again, I did this earlier and I'm gonna do it again. Normally I would not do this. I don't rock with DJ Vlad. You know what I'm saying? But I do recommend that people watch the interview with Dr. Stephen Greer
on DJ Vlad, and it's happening right now.
Ooh. Shout out to Dr. Stephen Greer. He been putting it down for
So he was
years.
there yesterday. He was the first one.
Okay.
Dr. Stephen Greer was the first one to accept his reward. Dr. Stephen, look, David Icke, and I'm just being honest. My route to consciousness before I met master teachers, and yes, I knew Dr. Sabi at the age of 5. Met the brother, you know what I mean. Spent about 4 or 5 years under the tutelage, living with them, and all of that good stuff. And then, you know, came back to the States. My father's always been my hero in terms of information and inspiration. Mm-hmm. And then he introduced me to the black struggle, right? So I had to learn all of the history, right, pertaining to us as a people and what that entails.
Right.
But my introduction to information into esoteric mysticism and occult, before I knew about a Dr. Valentine or Bobby Hemmett, I knew about David Icke and Jordan Maxwell and Rex, whatever his name. I read Illuminati 666 in the book New World Order and Behold a Pale Horse. I read all of that in the 90s when I was in the street. Yeah, I seen Malachi York, you know, pamphlets, but I read those books cover to cover.
Right.
From the other authors. I knew about shit that I couldn't do nothing with the information for a long time. You know what I'm saying? Before I knew anything else. So it would be remiss of me not to acknowledge the fact that I have benefited from an expansive exposure. Now, I was reading David Icke like I don't rock with all of this information.
It was a little bit too much.
Yeah, I was very I developed my discerning from reading the Bible, and I developed discernment from reading David Icke books, where I had to know when enough was enough. Where I was like, I'm not rocking with this part of it.
Too much.
Right.
Yeah, too much.
And he don't acknowledge no melanin.
Right.
He had to get with Credo, and Credo did.
That was my first experience with Credo Mutwa. Shout out Pete Blessed Power to Credo Mutwa.
So.
But I also remember you and Red saying, and which is why I stopped being offended by the David Wilcox, the Graham Hancock, shout out to them, and David Icke's. It's not their responsibility to tell us this kind of things.
Yeah.
It's not their responsibility. I would get pissed off, like, how they gonna give us all this information about, you know, the lizards and all this and all that? And I'm like, but I inherently knew where are we in this story. I didn't know how to identify it. I ain't know nothing about Kemet, none of that at that time. But I
knew enough, just like the Bible.
Right, exactly.
When I was reading the Bible, I'm like, where are we in this story?
Right.
I'm not buying into this. That spirit in my head was like, that's some bullshit. Don't buy into that. They put that's man's thought. That's his idea. That's trick knowledge. And it's the same thing when I would read Icke, right? I was able to discern what to keep and what to throw away, right? But here we are, 30 years later, and he received the Lifetime Achievement Award, and everything that he was saying in them books that seemed so far-fetched comes full circle, and it's relatable and relative, and it got mad receipts, right? And he still has staying power in terms of his dialogue. And then we have our master teachers, you know what I'm saying? And shout out to them. They did so much for us, development-wise, right? And you have to find a way to integrate both.
Yes.
The trauma, the terrestrial trauma program that deals with our planetary origins and the history that comes along with that, and the fact that there is a lot of the history that we do need to redeem. You know what I'm saying? But then there's a cosmic origin narrative that prepares us to step on a galactic stage to become masters of the universe once again. You know what I mean? And connect with, you know, what our true purpose is. It was said to me when I had my interaction with them in 2010, they was like, y'all got to take care of this, you know, they did say that, you know, like your issues here on Earth, we're not going to interfere. We're not going to...
That's our battle.
And you got to deal with this because it's not really a challenge. But y'all are holding up traffic in the galaxy
by not doing that.
By not, because this planet is not ascending, it's not bumping itself into where it's supposed to be, and you're creating a traffic log, right? And they said that you're held prisoner by iron and lead. Those two elements. They said the gods of the universe, right, have succumbed to being held prisoner by iron and lead. And they showed me the iron that they showed me was military vehicles, like military, right? Ogun iron. And the lead was the police bullets, right? So there's like these two things right here. You don't even know whether you guarding that because you're locked in fear. You won't ever pop off. You don't even know if we got your back, and you'll never find out.
Right. Fear of the
Because, the fear of the reprisal. The magic is in the momentum. They said, we're only going to hold you down if you make the first move.
Right.
And then you'll find out whether you got cover. But you're looking for the cover to find out whether you got it to make it hard up to see whether you're going to make a move. They're like, it don't work like that. And they said, if we have to intercede on behalf of you, we got to wipe everything clean because there's no way for them to separate the wheat from the chaff.
Yes.
If they penetrate this airspace and come and start fucking shit up,
Everybody got to go.
Right? Everybody got to go. So they like, for the last saving grace of humanity, you niggas got to get your shit together and put this devil in check, put him back in the box, right? Deal with this earthly shit that you have been grappling with, and then we'll open up the rest of the galaxy to you, right? So if we're going to deal with what we dealing with as a trauma, then we got to put that on the table to say the reward is galactical. Then we will have an impetus to move even greater because niggas got way too much time on their hand and we're not operating like this is an emergency. So we're trapped in terrestrial issues, but not to deal with it just because we want a trauma bond and because of what the trauma represents in terms of shit. It's the only way I can get next to you.
Right.
Or this is the only way that we could play the dominant hierarchy game. I'm better than you because. Right? Yeah, I'm healed and you're not.
I mean, I feel like that's part of the journey, but you can't get stuck at that spot. You can't get stuck at that spot of the trauma bonding. I think that's all of it. You know, we get angry, find out we've been lied to. Grandma just telling you what her great grandmother told you and so further on. But we get stuck at the trauma bond and we get stuck in the hierarchy of the nigga kingdom.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying?
and I'm saying the way to break the trauma is not, yo, I made it to I could get a motherfucking drop top Benz. You know what I'm saying?
Exactly.
Or I got a mansion on Star Island, so I'm at the pinnacle of my.
Right.
And again, that's me being hypocritical because I can't tell you what your healing is.
Right.
But if you're bruised by identity, and that's the thing that, for the most part, massages your bruises, if you will, because it's not necessarily all the way healing it, but you're putting a balm on it for the meantime to be like, I feel better about it. You know what I'm saying? Because I got these material things.
You feel like those things make you worthy.
Yeah, those things make you worthy because you're trying to equalize yourself to Europeans by saying, the way that I measure my worth is through material. Because I'm measuring it, you know what I mean? I'm equating myself to someone else who I believe is better than me because of their material gains. Because we live in a society where they taught us everything about cost and nothing about value. Right? So that's where we at as a people, and it should have seeped into consciousness where they like, I got more followers than you, I got more views than you. You know what I'm saying? I got more leverage because X, Y, and Z. You know what I mean? And not saying, but damn, I just impacted. Well, first of all, I changed my life.
Right.
So you can't do better than me. Right? You can't be a better version of me of what I've done for myself.
Facts.
And then I got this one little baby right here that I helped.
Right.
Right? So now I'm in surplus. Right?
You might have sparked the brain that changed the world.
Yeah, I might have sparked the brain that changed the world. And I don't owe niggas nothing. So even that's extra.
Right.
All of that is extra credit. But if I got $1 million, then, I take myself for example, right? And shout out, I met so many wonderful people last night. And I take shit for granted. I do. Because I just be in work mode. And it's like, I don't always get to smell my flowers because I'm working. You know what I'm saying? I'm constantly working and looking for the next thing that needs to be done. But I was meeting a lot of people that was telling me, yo, man, you know, been following you for some time and you really helped the situation. And I'm being humble, right?
Nah, no, you're not. You're not lowering your importance to yourself.
Oh, I'm saying I'm trying to find a word for it, but this has been happening for a long time.
Mm-hmm.
Really intense this year. It's been intensive this year since I put on the all white.
Yeah, the Pope Pablo has been life changing. I was going to talk to you about that when we got off camera, but yeah, Pope Pablo, the morning Sunday, the Sunday risings have been crazy.
Right.
I done got my super duper Christian family like, yo, listen, I'm not trying to sit here and tell you that the Bible is wrong. I know I've been coming at y'all for years, but y'all need to look at this from a different perspective. And we have all sat down on Sundays with you on live and just like, yo, listen to this perspective. We're not talking about thousands of years. We're talking about thousands of years ago, but putting it in relevance to today, right now, right here.
So
tangible things.
Right. That demonstration is dope. That's my latest iteration of liberation in a demonstration. And I ain't even talking about that. Like, these people are talking about stuff from 10 years ago that changed their lives, and then I'm seeing the changed version of them, and their wives or their husbands is attesting to it. Like, yeah, you helped change, you know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. And then they helped change the family because of that, and now we working on people in the community. So it's like, when we do the whole branch shit, it's just like, damn, you done changed 1 million people's lives. You know, you can't even evaluate that. You can't put
no price.
You can't put no price to that. You can't put a valuation to it. And it comes with a lot of responsibility. So I be very elated to hear these things, but it makes me even more, it puts more pressure on me than it does take pressure off of me. You know what I'm saying? Because then I feel like,
I gotta keep going harder.
Now you gotta keep going harder, but you're responsible for your life, other people's lives. Right. I'm already mindful when I'm in public, and he should even tell you, even in private. You know what I'm saying? That I don't even do certain things that would not be best becoming of myself if a child was around.
Right.
You feel me? Like, I've already trained myself in that manner, even when nobody's looking, to not do certain things that would be unbecoming of my character if a child was looking at me.
And that's one of the things that I love most about you from when I met you. One of the first things that I noticed and that made me comfortable and that made me trust you is that discipline, you know, and just that respect for yourself, for others, because I pay attention to shit like that. But just, the way that you do that in private, in public, I really respect that. That was one of the first things that I noticed, and I really appreciate it because not everybody is like that. You feel me? At all. At all. And that's very important. So, my baby right here, that's the man.
There's a very bit of truth about that.
Okay.
And I've been in this community, when you display those kind of characteristics, the goddesses, they will come to you and they will, what's the word I'm looking for? They will unveil, they will tell, they'll confide in you. That's what I'm looking for. They'll confide in you.
They feel comfortable. They feel safe.
And your name has been brought up several times with just, you know, this is what appears on camera is the same person off camera, you know what I'm saying? And I love the fact that
it's so important,
included in that small list of people that have the integrity off camera, that on camera.
But like, there's certain times I get overwhelmed. I got overwhelmed when I went to the UK. I got overwhelmed on the tour just now with Keys, and I got overwhelmed a little bit yesterday. The love, it was overwhelming, and it just, I mean, you know, it's not like you're not receiving the responsibility or the weight that comes with it. It's just be like, damn, like, this is heavy. You know what I'm saying? I don't need no award to validate this level of contribution, of impact, of existence, because it's something that's reciprocated. It's like I met somebody just now when I came to the beach, and he was like, man, I've been looking at you for so long that I feel like I've known you all my life. And I'm like, well, it's a reciprocated relationship. When I have the opportunity to meet people to resonate with the information, you're getting to meet parts of yourself as well. Because you're like, all right, well, what type of individual are you that resonate with what I have to say and the information? And I want to know more about you automatically.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Right.
And then, yeah, like, you have to be into the people. You have to be into your work. And the people that connect with your information are an extension of your work.
Facts.
You know what I'm saying? That is your tribe. So it's like, I would never abandon them. And then that's the things help me eliminate. You cannot judge. You can't have preconceived judgments. Because I was telling Mike Rashid the other day, I'm like, yo, I done met straight up skinheads in Oregon.
And they fuck with the man.
Even in Virginia.
Listen.
We were in Virginia, the Commonwealth folk.
Yeah.
The Commonwealth folk was fucking with Blue Pill, okay? Blue Pill or Red Pill, the whole, all the information. So.
Even in our all white, what type of people do we meet that be going head over heels to give us
yeah, white people, hillbillies,
Italians,
the Cubans,
and
all the
and they all shit be like, what do they be saying? It don't just be like, y'all look nice.
Yeah, right. No, y'all look divine, or I love your aura, and all of that. They the ones that come to us on the spiritual shit. It don't be our people.
Mm-hmm.
Our people be like, oh, what's that about? Or they make fun of, they call me Mickey Mouse because I got on white gloves.
Nah, what's the girl that said that we look like Rihanna backup dancers?
Oh yeah, we look like Rihanna backup dancers.
From the Super Bowl.
You know what I'm saying? That's what our people got
for us.
Not the little sperm joints. Come on now. You know what I'm saying? Come on now.
So that one was a little funny, but we had on the sweats. We had on the jogging suit.
Not the little sperm joints.
Yeah, she was like, why y'all look like y'all just came out dancing for Rihanna on the
Cut
Super
it
Bowl?
out.
I was like, damn, sis. That's what you saw.
Cut it out.
That's
what you got from this?
Yo, they be baking us, son.
But I'll say the older ones,
You know what I'm
they are
saying?
very curious. Like, they want to know, is it for spiritual reasons? Like, what are you into? Like, what is it? Because they want to know more. A lot of them is getting into their spirituality, and they want to know more about, our, as a people, our historical, spiritual origins.
Right, so I'm going to speak terrestrially because we're speaking about, quote unquote, our people. That's the people that we identify that got the same spacesuit as us, that we share trauma bonds with, that come from the same places we come from. Them niggas got issues because before they even ask me why you got on all white, first of all, these supposed to be the spiritual people.
Right.
Like, y'all don't even know what this is.
Don't even know what that is.
And then they'll ask somebody else without asking me.
Right.
Like, why you asking them why I'm doing something without asking me? And that just shows you how quick our people is to talk about you. Because that's the same. They bringing that shit from the same place. They'll be so quick to talk about you rather than talk to you, right? Because if it's something about a nigga that I don't like, I'm gonna find a way to address you about it to help in a situation. Like, son,
understand?
Yeah, like, this shit is overboard, man. Like,
what's going on?
Yeah, what's going on? Like, let's talk about it. Maybe you need somebody to talk to. You feel me? And I'm an amazing listener. I think that's my superpower. So that's our quote unquote people. You know what I'm saying?
They love it though.
They don't have no idea what you know what I'm saying? I'm like, y'all supposed to come from this. Like, what you mean? They don't know how to address people directly. They don't know how to be inquisitive without it feeling weird. They don't know how to take, like, if I be like, yo, you know what I'm saying? I have a no contact. They take it personal. What you mean you can't shake my hand? I'm like,
they don't understand it.
I don't even know you, nigga. Like,
right, or the energy that you.
What you think
around.
I owe you for?
Right.
You just said that you watched me for 10 years and you don't got enough free energy. And it's not like I'm denying. You know what I'm saying? I'm just like, yo, I'm going through something initiation wise.
Right.
There's boundaries that I have to set. You know what I'm saying? To cultivate my own energy. You know what I'm saying? Maybe she's the only one that gets it this year. I've been giving this shit away freely for 30-something years. And it's not enough. And that's what my reading is like, yo, these motherfuckers will drain you dry. You know what I'm saying? And then dance on your carcass if you let them.
That's what happened to Akabeka.
Yeah.
Overextended.
Yeah. Vaughn Benjamin.
Yeah.
Right? Being sick and still going out on the shows because he got to support his people and then the people that's bringing them out. I've been in them situations where I've been on tour with him. Some of them shows that he was doing, those communities are dependent on that to pay certain things in those communities. So he's going there doing almost like charity work to make shit pop for these micro communities that he rock with, but he ain't doing good. So he's sacrificing his own health to make some shit pop, not knowing that he's not gonna be there to even, you know what I'm saying? To even see it, receive it, or none of that. And yeah, you know, so this goes to the award shows and how important outward shows of appreciation are for the work that's being done. Now, I don't need an award, you know what I'm saying? The seeing the people getting that level of adoration, you know what I mean? My cup is full. I'm like, I get it. But there are people that need to be awarded. There are people that need to be acknowledged. There are people that need, you know what I'm saying, that reciprocation and that receptivity. You know, let somebody know when they're doing a good job. Let them know you're doing a good job. You're doing a good job. Keep it up. It's helping. It's changing. Like, everybody that I got to meet that is a hero of mine in terms of there's things that they have done that I have benefited from exponentially. I ran down on them. The only one that I ain't catch up with was Robert Grant. Right?
Yo.
Peace, my
Peace,
brother.
dog.
Peace. But Michael Beckwith, yeah, I told him like 4 times.
Jeez, man. Oh, that
You feel me?
Oh,
And again, like I said,
man.
when I moved to LA in 2013, I was going to Agape, and he was the first one that had me, because I had my guard up coming from New York consciousness. Everything is tethered to our terrestrial traumas.
Right.
So my concept is us versus them. And them would be, every Caucasian is a colonizer. You know, they are responsible in some shape, form, fashion, or way or another for our trauma. So I had that energy on me until I started going to Agape, and I had the ability to have it thought out just through his demonstrations, just for the fact that I knew that he was in flow state. He was freestyling.
Right.
His sermons be freestyles, but he taps into source. And this was, my mama, he comes recommended from my mama. It's the same as Dr. B. These both, and it's ironic that they're both friends. You know what I'm saying? That they come from the old school with one another. And I probably gonna get Dr. B on here at some point.
Man, shout out to Dr. B, man.
You know what I mean?
Shout out to Dr.
I
B,
need it.
man.
I was messing with Dr. B yesterday. I hope he don't take it the wrong way. You know what I'm saying?
Dr. B be freestyling for real. I don't mean that just like
But
be capping. I just mean like
I was, and I'll share it with y'all because I'm gonna share. I chased Dr. B down for 3 years to be on Brother Rich, right? And the reason
he was
that
retired for a while.
Yeah, he was retired. The reason that I chased him down is because my mother said that he is a superior herbalist. She didn't say, "Oh, he's better than me" or "He's better than Sabi." She don't speak recommendations on nobody's or not. She don't. There's not a lot of people that they heap those levels of recommendations and acknowledgments on. So in 2018, my mother said Dr. B is the truth.
Wow.
Right? I'd known about Dr. B from back in the days. I might have probably even seen Dr. B when he was in the streets, right? On some LA shit. But nonetheless, I knew about him. I knew he was the truth. I know that he had a certain edge that was needed and necessary,
Yes.
right?
Yes.
Because that energy's been missing, for the longest with Bobby. So
Yeah.
I've been pressing Dr. B for 3 years to be on some sort of media apparatus. And leading up to his first appearance on Brother Rich, I pressed him.
Glad you did. Thank you.
And then I pressed Rich. And then they had the first show and they never looked back.
Never.
So I get to the event and I'm looking around and I'm like, wow, look at all that has come to this man from answering a phone call. You know what I'm saying? And showing up and showing out. And because he has so much to offer, he's abundance. Right? He makes abundance ripple. And I know that he could perform that level of magic on our community.
Yes.
To loosen some things up. They needed Dr. B to heat some shit up, to get some shit moving. And look how it has moved. Where I'm looking at the manifestation of an award show.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not saying I was responsible for it, but I could look at the connections that was made and the dots that was connected to be like, look at the fullness of this, and look how many people now get to benefit from this demonstration. Yeah, and he got a whole show on Billy Carson Network.
I feel like
now he got whole classics on Brother Rich.
He was able
You know
to.
what I'm saying?
He was able to help Billy Carson open up more.
Everybody.
You know what I'm saying? He was just able to information that he just
everybody he comes into contact with,
Right.
he helps them expand.
right.
Because he is a musician who knows all about codes and free. The nigga put on DJ Quick. Okay? He was responsible for DJ Quick's first 2 albums.
A lot of people don't know that. A lot of people don't know that. A lot of
And that
people
bop.
don't know that.
That DJ Quick bop that he still gets accredited for to this day. Right? He put the frequencies in that music when he was programming it back then. That's unheard of. So he is a legend beyond legends, and then to see him, peace to the God. We got the whole faculty in the building.
We out
today.
here now. We out
We
here.
outside.
We outside.
We outside. We gonna talk that talk. We outside. So, and this man will tell you about his exponential growth. You know,
Oh my gosh.
and again, the ability to have exposure and to really utilize, you know, the platform. You know what I'm saying? To tap in for expansive purposes. Feel me? Okay. Right? God got on that linen. God got on that linen.
Lennon Lord.
Feel me? Feel me? Hold on, let me show you.
Good. How are you?
Lennon
So
Lord.
God got on that linen.
Yo, you
see that
heard?
crushed linen?
Show him, God.
See that linen? Yeah.
Lennon Lord.
See that linen ensemble? But you see the God? You see the God in the picture? That's linen top and bottom, and the vest was linen.
Oh,
Huh?
that's
And the vest was linen. You know, that's neither here nor there. Wait, let me give y'all a closer view of that. Give me 1 second. But yeah. I was with my guy. My guy was not playing with them.
All the way out. He came all the
I
way
think it was
out.
not playing, son. Talking about put it on.
Right. As it should be.
Okay. Yeah, that's somebody said that Dr. B just went live as we was talking about him. See, that's that synchronicity. You know what I mean? He's a legend. And he represents final boss of Kemet Dragon. You know. And I think that it was paramount, especially in a venue, like the nuances, the subtle nuances that when I was writing that stuff that I was writing about Travis Scott, I really wanted to speak about the fact that, well, the only ones qualified at this point that can really give you some scholastic build on that is Robert Grant and Billy Carson, and they're not the only ones, but they're the ones that I seen recently go into the temples and do acoustic demonstrations inside the temples to show, right, that those pyramids was built for sonic reasons.
Yep.
And if you have particular acoustics, if you approach it, shout out to the Black Airbender. I seen him go into the pyramids and do some acoustic experiments recently too.
That's my God.
Right? So I wanted just to see what was going to be the results of Travis Scott attempting an acoustic experiment at the pyramids, because if the ancestors are who you say they are, then they would have took care of that in real time for the world to see, right? And if they appreciated it because he was role playing as Ampu, then it would have had its desired effect as well, right?
Portal in real time.
It would have opened up a whole portal
In real time.
And the good guys, you got work to do. You just need to step your game up and be a little bit more intense and intentional about your demonstrations and your rituals and your ceremonies and your experiments. Feel me? But yeah, the God body was in the building. There was a plethora of beautiful people all through that venue. I was underdressed. I felt like I ain't get the memo. Because niggas had on the tuxes and the, you know what I'm saying? They put that shit on. I just needed an excuse, yeah. So this was the Source Awards meets the Oscars, y'all.
Fact.
Like, that's the best way I could summarize it. You feel me? And niggas came like they was coming to the Source Awards. And they came like they was coming to the Oscars, my nigga. Like, there was a clear dichotomy in the building, but it was still a beautiful blend. It was still necessary. It was still needed. And you can't take nothing away from that. But our people were beautiful. They was amazing. You know what I'm saying? They was godly in their attire, their frequency, their vibration. And I'm glad, like I said, that this brother got to demonstrate what Kemet with the Netsubiti really looks like. And they had to bear witness to that. They had to bear witness. Shout out to the brother Chris Spencer, that's his name?
Yeah.
Who was the hope. He was mad funny. He was mad funny. And Billy got bars, y'all.
Yeah, you got bars. Low key.
So
He can rap?
Billy hit the stage rapping. The audio was off a little bit, so we don't got the best rendition of it, but my guy was snapping, bro. He was
Billy was rapping with Dame Dash.
Billy was rapping. Tell when the niggas rapping.
Dame Dash was in the building.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah. It was you know what I'm saying? It was a dope situation, like
All about living in the moment and enjoying the moment and observing the moment and being present. You know, and yeah, I've always wondered how you guys are able to exhibit.
that was a young brother, you know, just sharing what the information has done to impact him. And like I said, I love it when the brothers come and they're whiz, the goddesses be with them, and they be acknowledging like, yeah, he's not capping, he's telling the truth, and I'm here to bear witness to that. So you see on the face of the woman how she has benefited from the transformation of her guy, of her dude, of her husband. You know what I'm saying? And that's just a beautiful thing, man, when you can do things like that. You know what I mean? And not even think twice about it. I don't do it for a fee. You know what I'm saying? So it's a labor of love at the end of the day. You know? And that, again, all of it is just a beautiful thing. And yeah, man, I can't. The people were beautiful through and through. And all of them were beautiful. It was not about a color thing. Everybody attended. Everybody that was in that building was beautiful. Everybody that was in that building, you know what I'm saying, is unique in their own character because they're different. And like I said, like he said, we the ones that they don't clone, right?
Do not want no more of
They
us.
do not want no more of us. So them the type of individuals that I like, that you so unique, that you represent such a threat to the system that they won't clone you. They don't want no more of you. You are not part of the program. As evidenced, pat yourself on the back if you the black sheep. You know what I'm saying? They not gonna clone you. You're not part of the program. They have no desire to put, you know, for them to put you, you know what I'm saying, in their data bank. They want to delete files. And that's when you know that you're doing the right thing. Right? Because my beef is not with the people. It's with the program. It's with the system. You know what I'm saying? It's with ignorance. And how do you define ignorance? Ignorance is the lies that we've been told. Ignorance is the lies that they've been told. And we both operating off of lies. And we're clashing, bumping heads, because it's impossible for me to know who you are. I'm still attempting to find out who I am. So I'm operating off of signals. I'm operating off of stereotypes. I'm operating off of tropes. I'm operating off of lies. I'm operating off of things that I think that I know about you, but I don't honestly know you. You know what I'm saying? I don't honestly know you. I got to wake up and remind myself every day who I am. You feel me?
I can't stop thinking about that restaurant.
You know what I mean? So that's the conversation. I would hate for you to miss out on something in life because you have a preconceived notion about who somebody is versus who somebody isn't, versus based on their skin tone. Hello, how are you? It's okay. So, oh, thank you. Peace. Okay. All right. Peace. That's right. Greetings. Yes, Rashida.
Yeah,
Yes.
absolutely. Yes, Rashida.
Again, beautiful family that was in the building
You want me to take
last
a
night.
picture for you?
Mother and the father and the child, the whole family. You know what I'm saying? Okay, you want a picture with us?
Yes.
Hold me down.
You
real
don't want
quick.
to stop.
You want it with a...
Yeah, because he might go on for a long
Oh, I see. I went here. And you're asking. No, this I want you to.
Okay.
Not you? You ain't in it? Huh? You not getting in it? Okay.
He gonna wish one day.
Right,
he gonna
right.
wish. Okay. He don't know. He don't know. This is awesome.
Yeah.
I thank you all.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. I appreciate
Enjoy
everything.
you
that
guys.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Enjoy too.
All right, y'all. Peace.
Thank you. Bye.
Peace, my brother.
It's such an honor. And thank
It's
you.
an honor. Thank you.
Appreciate you. Y'all be
Keep
good.
up the
Have a
good work
one.
yourself. All right, my brother. Peace. Yeah. So, excuse me. Yeah, that's just, just got to do the work. And the work is rewarding. I'm not saying that there's not a financial reward attached to it, but that's not what you should not. I can't tell you what to do. I don't leave with it. You know what I mean? And yeah.
Everybody's different.
Everybody different.
That's what makes us unique. There's some swag in there. This is Mad Easy.
Man. He getting it too. He getting it. Yeah, y'all. So, yeah, man. I think that was a beautiful way to end it. I don't want to drag it too long, and I do want to get some workout in. But yeah, man, that's just the end of my conversation. That I love us so much. You feel me? That I want to make sure that we are getting ready for the next phase of things. And the next phase of things is celestial. You know what I'm saying? It's opening up the gateways to the galaxies, and us really stepping into that place. What we eat today? Coconut smoothies.
Right, man. Yeah, man.
And we had some rice and beans too. Yeah. We had some coconut smoothies, maduros.
Gotta get the little Cuban vibe while we out here.
Right.
While we out here.
Yeah, I ate some fish the other day too. I'm gonna let y'all know that. I keep telling you, what's the vegan probation? Y'all gotta tell me what's the terms of my probation. Somebody contact whoever the pescatarian prosecutor is. I'm ready to take a plea. Yeah. Y'all ain't gotta take me to trial. I'm taking a plea. Yeah, my shit guilty. So
We gonna get them a piece too and watch they eat it.
when I'm in Miami, I get tropical, and my people they eat fish.
I took the whole joint.
So, pause.
I had to wear glasses for like the next couple of days after that. Because I was, when I tell you,
Shit, you got a plank in traffic.
Like you see that you see this
got what?
Pelican, right?
You got a plank in
Not
traffic.
planking traffic.
Mad bright. All the the greens, the blues, the reds,
That's just
primary colors, mad bright. Like I would see, I would look at your shorts and
That's
I
a
would ask you,
pescatarian sentence.
your shorts would be so bright.
I gotta do time.
A couple of days after that,
Yeah,
even at nighttime.
thank you for the time that y'all, spent tapping in.
And like,
I got some dope information in this live that I really want you to tap into, family. And hopefully we can continue this conversation on a larger platform so we could get more expansive with it. Holla at Brother Rich, see if we could do a recap and just really speak to the family. You know what I'm saying? But look, for those of you that want to tap into the Shasta retreat, the link is in the bio, right? ShastaMeditation.com, I believe. And Sedona, if you want to tap into the Sedona trip, which is coming at the end of September, link is in the bio. Also, you know, as the ships and all of that pop out in Sedona when we come.
Sedona is another planet.
Sedona is another planet altogether.
That's a whole other dimension.
So, you know what I mean? Let's really get to it. I want you to have these experiences so you can get outside of, you know, skepticism, wrestling with whether you know it or not. You need to be in your gnosis, firm in it, so you can level up and prepare yourself for the inevitable. What is the inevitable? It's contact, nigga. It's going to happen. You feel me?
You need to be able to receive whatever information that they're here to give. And that's the most important part. Not being so stuck on what you see, which may or may not be hard, but to have enough of an open mind and an open heart to receive what they have to say, because what they've been trying to do is being hid from you, is being shot down, is being restricted.
Suppressed, right.
Suppressed for, you know,
for
a reason.
Right.
And it's time for, you know, those, when we listen to the Bobby Hemmings thing, they say them devices going to come online at one point. This is the time. So you got to open yourself up to that and allow yourself to evolve. Period. Period. It's time to take things another step. All this trivial things, that's old world, that's old paradigm.
Yeah, that's old earth, as they say.
Pisces energy.
It's Piscean.
Right.
Piscean.
Remnants of a bygone era. You know what I'm saying? Let the dead bury the dead. You feel me? Let that shit fall by the wayside. You know, so you can come into your new self on this new earth and beyond. You know what I'm saying? To boldly go when no man is gone. So you deserve it. You owe it to yourself. You owe it to your ancestors. This is what you signed up for, to be here at this point in time where we bust this thing wide open. Feel me? And you know, yeah, I want that for you. All right. Shout out to Brother Red. He got Melanin Mondays in a little while.
Just popped up.
All right. Peace.